think a lot of people thought that he was just joking around. It turns out he's not. So this is actually a real project that's being made under his G-Unit movie and TV studio.
Go back to that 50 Cent post, and I'm going to tell you why 50 is literally a diabolical genius.
The upcoming Netflix documentary series by 50 Cent is quickly becoming one of the most talked about and controversial projects in the streaming world. Titled Diddy Do It, this series takes a deep dive into allegations surrounding some of the most influential figures in the music industry, including Sean Diddy Combs and Sean Jay-Z Carter. The stakes are higher than ever, as both Diddy and Jay-Z are reportedly scrambling to prevent its release. Courtroom battles, cease and desist letters, and frantic legal maneuvering are unfolding, painting a picture of desperation. But what is it about this documentary that has them so terrified? Let's break it down.
If that's part of the indictment, that's somewhat like a blackmail. He was blackmailing people to be in the freak-offs. So that's federal. That could be that's a federal charge. He can't blackmail people to say, yo, listen here, you did it once and you're going to do it again. That ain't gonna make it with the government or nobody.
When 50 Cent first revealed the documentary project last year, few took it seriously. After all, 50 Cent has spent years trolling Diddy on social media, poking fun at his reputation and lifestyle. However, things changed dramatically when legal troubles surrounding Diddy exploded into public view. Investigations, lawsuits, and shocking accusations exposed a hidden side of the music industry, one even hip-hop fans hadn't seen. And now, with Jay-Z's name being dragged into the equation, the stakes are higher than ever. Both Diddy and Jay-Z are reportedly filing cease and desist orders to stop the documentary from airing. Their legal teams are working around the clock, scrutinizing every detail to find a way to discredit it before it's released. According to insiders, Jay-Z's lawyers are particularly aggressive, claiming the documentary infringes on his right to privacy and could cause irreparable damage to his public image. But why are they so eager to suppress it if they have nothing to hide?
This morning, rap mogul Jay-Z is denying allegations he assaulted a 13-year-old girl alongside rapper Sean Diddy Combs. That civil lawsuit filed against Combs in October was amended Sunday to include Jay-Z. The accuser, identified only as Jane Doe, says she was assaulted by both men.
The answer seems to lie in the documentary's content. The series is reportedly much more than just headlines. It digs into the shadows of the music industry, exposing a web of questionable behavior and alleged exploitation. Sources close to the production claim that the documentary includes interviews with former insiders, employees, and even alleged victims who paint a damning picture of what went on behind the scenes. From secret recordings to lavish parties, the documentary promises to reveal shocking details that could tarnish the reputations of two of hip-hop's biggest names. Although 50 Cent has made it clear he is no fan of either Diddy or Jay-Z, he insists his goal is to give a voice to those who've been silenced for years. For Diddy, the stakes couldn't be higher. The allegations against him span years, with some claiming he used his power in ways that crossed ethical and legal lines. Despite his denials, the mounting accusations have cast a long shadow over his career, and with the documentary's release on the horizon, that shadow could deepen.
I'm not surprised with the decision. I'm surprised that Judge Subramanian entertained it. He held a 2-hour hearing, which we were covering live, and he issued a 5-page written order. Most other judges, including the 2 previous judges, to consider this issue, summarily denied the bail motion. I think a lot of it stems from Judge Subramanian being a newer judge. This is a Biden appointee.
Jay-Z is also in a precarious position. While he has built his reputation as a savvy businessman and cultural icon, recent allegations have put a spotlight on parts of his past that he may prefer to remain hidden. A bombshell lawsuit filed against him late last year alleged troubling behavior in connection with Diddy. Although Jay-Z has fiercely denied these claims, calling them baseless and opportunistic, the timing of the lawsuit couldn't be worse. With the documentary exploring their long-standing connection, the pressure on him is mounting.
There's a huge difference in energy internationally in 50 Cent and Jay-Z.
What makes this situation even more intriguing is the history between 50 Cent, Diddy, and Jay-Z. The tension between these 3 men is nothing new, it's been simmering for years. 50 Cent has always been vocal about his disdain for both men, often mocking them in interviews and on social media. But this feud goes beyond petty rivalries or industry competition. According to 50 Cent, his decision to create the documentary stems from a desire to expose what he sees as systemic abuse of power within the music industry. The truth, however, is often messy, and in this case, it's explosive. The documentary reportedly includes never-before-seen footage and documents that shed light on how Diddy and Jay-Z allegedly used their influence to avoid scrutiny. Early leaks suggest the series will address everything from secret business deals to personal relationships that may have crossed moral lines. For fans who idolize these figures, the documentary is bound to be a shocking wake-up call, and for Diddy and Jay-Z, it represents a direct threat to the empires they've built.
So it's a huge difference in who we are with each other internationally. Let them be fooled in America and think there's a competition there, because America can be purchased.
The potential fallout from the release of the documentary is immense. Both Diddy and Jay-Z have built their brands on images of success, innovation, and resilience. They are not just musicians but moguls, philanthropists, and cultural icons. But if the allegations in the documentary stick, it could all come crashing down. Endorsements, business deals, and partnerships could be at risk, not to mention their legacies in an industry where reputation is everything. The stakes have never been higher. Then there's the public reaction to consider. Fans of Diddy and Jay-Z are fiercely loyal, but even the most dedicated supporters may struggle to reconcile these allegations with the figures they've admired for years. Social media has already erupted in debate, with some defending their idols while others demand accountability. The court of public opinion is a powerful force, and it's clear this story is far from over. Whether the documentary ultimately reinforces or challenges these allegations, its impact on public perception will be significant.
Bleak beans, everybody was in there, and I was like, man, I'm telling you, man, y'all got a chance right now. Just flood it, put out a lot of music, because 50 Cent is coming.
The most fascinating aspect of this saga is how it highlights the power dynamics within the music industry. For years, Diddy and Jay-Z have been at the top, seemingly untouchable. They've weathered scandals, controversies, and rivalries, always emerging unscathed. But this time feels different. The documentary represents a rare moment when the walls of celebrity privilege seem to be closing in, and for 50 Cent, it's a chance to level the playing field.
Tim, you're aware of international. You are like Flex here. I've always said that. I always felt like that, right?
Despite the chaos, 50 Cent also faces his own set of challenges. Critics have accused him of using the documentary as a way to settle old scores, questioning whether his motives are truly altruistic. Others point out that 50 Cent himself has been involved in controversies, suggesting that his hands aren't entirely clean. But 50 Cent appears unfazed by the criticism. He insists his focus is on telling the stories that need to be told. "Say what you want about me," he reportedly said to a friend, "this isn't about me. This is about justice." As the release date approaches, tensions continue to rise. Legal threats are flying back and forth, with both Diddy and Jay-Z reportedly considering additional lawsuits to block the project. Meanwhile, 50 Cent remains defiant, teasing fans with cryptic social media posts and promising the documentary will be worth the wait. One of his recent posts read, "You think you've seen it all? You haven't seen anything yet." The question now is whether the documentary will live up to the hype or if it will be buried under the weight of legal battles and industry politics. Either way, the story has already captivated the public's imagination, sparking heated debates and endless speculation. As more details emerge, it's clear this is just the beginning of what promises to be a long and dramatic saga.
For him, although interestingly, we haven't seen the indictments yet. There's been some time lag. I suppose it will take some time to go through all the forensic, evidence, but
the stakes are high, the allegations are shocking, and the players involved are some of the biggest names in the game. But will the truth finally come out, or will the powers that be succeed in keeping it hidden? One thing's for sure, this is a story that no one can afford to ignore.
As far as, is he going to turn people in? Is he going to cooperate? If the federal government wants him to cooperate, and they're going to cut his time, because right now he's looking at 15 to life. With all the charges he had to, he won't get out till 70 years old. He about 70, that's when they start talking about letting him come to a halfway house.
Tension between Diddy, Jay-Z, and 50 Cent is at a fever pitch, and it's about so much more than just a Netflix docuseries. The entire music industry, and perhaps even Hollywood, is holding its breath as these entertainment titans are locked in what feels like a battle for survival. But how did things escalate to this point? How did these former collaborators and so-called friends end up on opposite sides of one of the most scandalous sagas the industry has ever seen? To understand why this feud has reached such dramatic heights, we need to rewind the clock and break down how these relationships fell apart. 11. At first glance, Diddy and Jay-Z seemed like the ultimate power duo in hip-hop. Both young, ambitious, and hungry for success in the 1990s, they built their respected empires. Diddy, with his flashy style and larger-than-life persona, was the face of Bad Boy Records, a label that dominated the charts with hits from artists like the notorious B.I.G. and Maze. Meanwhile, Jay-Z, who came up through the gritty streets of Brooklyn, was carving out his own lane as the co-founder of Rockefeller Records. Together, they embodied the New York hustle, attending the same events, celebrating each other's wins, and occasionally collaborating professionally. By the early 2000s, they were two of the most recognizable figures in the music industry, seemingly unstoppable forces who had the world at their feet.
Jay-Z got his ass whooped by his sister-in-law on camera. What's her name? Solange. You got his ass. The feds ain't step in and do nothing. The feds don't care about you getting your ass whooped.
Even at the height of their friendship, cracks were starting to show behind the scenes. Whispers of jealousy and competition began to surface. Diddy's New York rise had made him a household name first, but as Jay-Z's career exploded, the dynamic between them shifted. Jay-Z wasn't just a rapper, he was becoming a mogul, using his music career to launch ventures in fashion and even sports management. While Diddy had always been known for his business acumen, many in the industry began to notice that Jay-Z's moves were smarter, cleaner, and more forward-thinking. People started calling him the businessman's businessman, a title that reportedly didn't sit well with Diddy, who had long been seen as the blueprint for turning hip-hop into a billion-dollar business.
I don't think they are scared of him. I think they more so, they don't want him to embarrass their reputation and things that they've been known for. You understand?
As time went on, the public began to notice subtle jabs between the two. In interviews, Diddy would occasionally throw shade at artists who, in his words, forgot who paved the way for them. While he never named names, many assumed he was talking about Jay-Z. Meanwhile, Jay-Z, known for keeping his criticisms veiled, began referencing his disdain for flashy businessmen in his lyrics, a line many interpreted as a dig at Diddy's over-the-top persona. Despite the tension simmering beneath the surface, it never fully boiled over, at least not until 50 Cent entered the picture.
You know what I mean? Like, not when a relationship like that. Like, they've been with each other. Look, I was an opening act for the Cash Money.
50 Cent's arrival in the early 2000s was a game changer. Unlike Diddy and Jay-Z, who at least tried to maintain a veneer of diplomacy, 50 Cent thrived on chaos. His debut album was an instant classic, catapulting him to the top and making him a household name almost overnight. But 50 Cent wasn't just looking to succeed, he wanted to dominate, and he had no problem calling out anyone who stood in his way. One of his earliest targets was Diddy, and he wasted no time making his feelings known. In interviews, he mocked Diddy's music, calling it soft and accusing him of caring more about his image than his artistry. But it wasn't just about the music. 50 Cent also took aim at Diddy's business practices, accusing him of exploiting his artists and taking credit for their work.
There's nobody in control of me. Like, I do what I want to do. So, I'm deciding to f*** your life up.
Diddy tried to brush off the criticism, but it was clear that 50 Cent had struck a nerve. As the years passed, the animosity between them only grew. Jay-Z, meanwhile, largely stayed out of 50 Cent's line of fire until recently. 4 years, the two existed in parallel worlds, occasionally crossing paths but never engaging in any meaningful way. That changed when Jay-Z's name was dragged into the allegations surrounding Diddy. Suddenly, 50 Cent had a new target, and he wasted no time turning his attention to Jay-Z. On social media, he began posting cryptic messages implying that Jay-Z wasn't as squeaky clean as he'd let on. One now deleted post read, "Where's Jay? He's been real quiet while this is going down." Makes you wonder, doesn't it? The implication was clear: if Diddy was going down, Jay-Z wasn't far behind.
Just different things that's not really beef though. That's just competitive.
Competitiveness. All right, so you and Diddy, you and Puff cool?
No, I don't really rock with him
okay,
like
damn.
that.
All
The timing of 50 Cent's attacks couldn't have been worse for Jay-Z, who was already facing growing scrutiny over his alleged involvement in the same incidents that had landed Diddy in trouble. While Jay-Z has consistently denied the accusations, the mere association with Diddy has been enough to damage his carefully crafted image. 4 years, he's been viewed as the ultimate success story, a man who rose from humble beginnings to become one of the most powerful figures in the world. Now, that image is being called into question, and it's clear 50 Cent is relishing every second of it. This feud is about more than just personal grudges, it's about power, influence, and protecting legacies. For Diddy and Jay-Z, the stakes are incredibly high. If the allegations hold weight, it could spell disaster for not only their careers but their entire network of business ventures. Meanwhile, 50 Cent is positioning himself as the whistleblower, shining a light on the darkest corners of the industry, securing his own legacy as a disruptor.